Ebisha ha Tvghana so about channel no so abo what they so be like no share we and subscribe na leave a comment so our comment section no. I say ebisha mini wonte ya ene me ma waso ate se sabre a me no ka say ade say so West African nationals abusua na mu ti US ebisha ade say US aban no ene Samuel Okuzeto Ablakwa ne Ghana aban atimi ya nhihye ya sabre a me no ka say omode about 11 West African nationals are omde mo be PM e Ghana ha omo deport homo sabra me no wo kase ya busia omo timi asiu Ghana ban because according to explanation these people no what they man omo chirima they were not aware say omo te ho no ye ba be deport omo na ye be deport omo so a nka wo mu krom na wo sen ko omo de omo ko enso omo nim de ntia US aban etumi ne Ghana aban ye nhihye ya he said some don't be return omo to the original country no on the mobile PM e Ghana ha bi omo chirima treatment and this aban e de mom no mu treat omo as criminals meanwhile so omo say omo kokoje injunction against deportation e wo US nti on yi pa say Okuzeto etimi ene US aban etimi ye nhihye ye sei e de omba be PM na abusua Okuzeto na aka mu the Minister of Foreign Affairs e ko PM e wo channel 1 abusua mu ne twetwe nkomo fa asanse se we ho abusua ene nkyire mu ba ko or trefa ne bosa free ha na akosi ha free ha na akwakosi ha saa na wo se wo ba be kire Ghana for the ntia Ghana any US aban etimi koye saa nhihye na West African nationals Balifo Nigeria for so many countries no omutimi deport omo anya ba bi o man for man ko se Ghana na busia some years ago Guantanamo Bay 3 minim beje atene e Ghana hapa prisoners bia omo from United States abusia Ghana aban etimi nhihye ekoje omo ensema NDC aban we ebe kan ye na busia na nya asem ketwa na de motimi akoye nhihye akwakoje nipa baako 11 na mode omo ba ye so anso wa omo san atwa omo ho gra san ko siu Ghana for Ghana aban na abusia ye hwe de ebekwa kosi say no siu no mo siu no so be akodu ana so omo sa ba bebo Ghana ka na obi te ne kuru mu te ne baabi na yesi ye deport obi a o mind te se Ghana ye bu ye ho kire ye bra ye bre mo se ye beje wo mo akwakoje mo ba be kuru mu na abusia ne Okuzeto di ntire bu ni nyina abre na abusia anika se the sabri gide bra jibrani kuti uya na wache wadon comment sectioners.
And not to pick on you, you listed 15 things you said Akufo-Addo could do to fight Galamsey. I don't have time to read all. I can only see about 3 that this government has done. You listed 15 things. One of which was you said something about what the embassy in China should do, which is directly related to you. But let me read about 3 of them. Instruct the Attorney General and IGP to discontinue the harassment of anti-Galamsey protesters. Well, there's no protest, so that's not an issue. Sack all regional ministers who have failed to prevent Galamsey as chairs of their respective regional security councils. Sack all MMDCs who have failed to stop Galamsey as heads of their respective municipal assemblies. Reshuffle ministers responsible for lands and natural resources, environment, science and technology, etc., etc. Recall all police commanders and national security operatives. Impose a 5-year ban on all forms of small-scale mining. Deploy the armed forces to protect our river bodies. Immediately stop the issuance of new mining licenses. Carry out a shake-up in Ghana's embassy in China. Launch an aggressive scientific Green Ghana campaign. Provide free comprehensive medical screening and treatment for all Ghanaians affected by Galamsey. Hefty fines on small-scale mining companies. Roadmap, a lot of things. I'm not even sure 20% of this has been done by this government.
We are about 8-9 months in office.
Yeah.
I'm confident that these things will be done. Some of them have been done already. About 44 forests have been reclaimed. And look, let me be very honest with you, that on Galamsey, I believe that we can do better. And all of these propositions I made in the past, I still stand by them. Look, at the ministry, when given the opportunity, I hold here the KPIs. This is the first time in the history of our country that the foreign ministry has come up with KPIs for our ambassadors. All our high commissioners and ambassadors, our envoys, must meet these targets. And if you fall short, it's now in the appointment letters that the president signed. It is basis for you to be dismissed. I wish we replicate this in the regions and the districts and have Galamsey there, where if in 6 months you are not able to stop Galamsey, it means you are complicit. So these are positions I hold here. I still believe in them. look, if we cannot be decisive, if we can't have conviction, if we cannot say that, look, there are some things that money, material gain should not get in the way. Politics should not get in the way. Then,
Minister,
then it's not worth being in leadership.
You proposed are things the president should do. That's my issue now. So fine, this is for people who are within the chain.
Yes.
Replicate
the
that for but a lot of the things that you are calling for. And by the way, this week, the Aguna Nyakrom headworks, Kwanyakun headworks are not working. So 10 districts don't have water. Takwa, the Bonsa headworks are not working. So the same type of thing you were talking about, that our water bodies are being polluted and now we don't have water to drink, it's actually happening. Yes. And you cannot tell me that in 9 months, the president cannot do the things that you thought the former president could do.
I haven't said that. I haven't said that it should not be done, or I haven't said that I'm running away from those proposals. Let's go back to them. I believe that it can be implemented, and President Mahama is showing greater commitment than we saw the former president do. I mean, at least 44 forests have been taken over by the military. Only this morning in a meeting, the president instructed the National Security Council, remember I'm a member of the National Security Council, to even deploy more troops, have permanent camps so that we don't have a situation where when the soldiers leave, then the Galamsey guys go back. So the president is working. He means well. He wants to really end this menace. But clearly, there are others who are making his resolve difficult. And I think that he has to crack the whip. And I have no doubt that he will do that. So these are proposals that we should go back to and we should all implement.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do with a few other things.
But
really?
as the discussions continue,
yeah,
if it is elevated to an agreement,
the Guantanamo 3, some people took the matter to court, and I think the Supreme Court held that whatever name you give it, when two countries come up with an arrangement, that places obligations on both of them. Whether you call it a treaty, a contract, it requires ratification. It was a majority decision. Only one person dissented. So I'm a bit surprised you're saying because it's an MOU, it means that it oughtn't have gone to Parliament. The judgment was very clear on the Guantanamo 3, that Article 75 was violated, which says international agreements must go through Parliament. And you are a 4th MP, so at least you could have gone to Parliament. And you have a massive majority. So what's the problem?
No, I agree with you. And that is why I said at the press conference I held a couple of days ago that when this is elevated beyond an MOU and it's a full agreement, we will go to Parliament under Article 75 and have it ratified. At this point, it is just a loose understanding.
The agreement is enforced. But how can you enforce? How can you enforce something you call a loose agreement? The thing is already enforced. You've brought 14. You're bringing 40.
Look, I've inherited so many MOUs that didn't go to Parliament for ratification, and
But because of the precedent of the Gitmo 3, I felt like this was, and you know this. So is it an oversight? Are you going to apologize for it, or you don't think you made a mistake?
No, it's not an oversight because we sought the Attorney General's advice. It was discussed in cabinet, and the Attorney General's advice and his counterpart, the Attorney General on the U.S. side, also said that look, this is an MOU, and MOUs do not require ratification. That is why
the Attorney General is wrong, because the judgment is clear. I can read it.
Oh, you know better law than the Attorney General?
At least the law is there for all of us to read. Unless the English reading of what the Supreme Court said is different.
You see MOUs in that judgment.
The language of Article 75 is very clear. The article forms part of the set of provisions governing the role of the executive arm of government in Ghana's international relations. I'm reading the judgment. Yeah. The scope of the article deals with treaties in general. The side notes and the body of the text makes reference to treaties, agreements, and conventions. It is also clear that the instruments referred to relate to Ghana's international relations with other countries or groups of countries, and the article requires that such instruments must be ratified by Parliament. The Constitution makes no mention of any formal distinctions that are dependent on the formality with which such an instrument is formatted or brought into being. Then it goes on to even list MOUs, etc. This is the judgment. This is a Sophia Kufu. I'm not the one saying it. So I don't know whether you're saying because the AG says, in fact, if the argument of the defendant in the state, the government, were to be taken seriously, that the transaction being by way of note verbal, executive agreement, memorandum of understanding, diplomatic note, or what have you, is merely administrative one, then the question arises as to the exact status of the said persons now that they are in Ghana. Are they migrants? It's a long argument. It basically says, once two countries agree on something of that nature, Parliament must ratify. It's very clear.
We are working with the Attorney General's advice, and the Attorney General's advice is that when this is elevated to an agreement, it can be ratified. At this point, there's no need for ratification. So that we didn't agree to this because we agree with President Trump's immigration policies. We are not doing the U.S. a favor. We are doing our fellow Africans a favor. We are offering them refuge. We are offering them succor. We are offering them hope. We want them to come back home and be comfortable. We solidarize with them when we see those images, the arrests, the violation of their rights, being detained against their will, and it's as though nobody wants to take them. So it was purely on humanitarian basis, and we have made clear that we did not accept any financial benefit whatsoever. We are doing this because we want to continue to position Ghana as that country which has always been the Mecca for Africans, for freedom fighters. We will avail ourselves to help fellow Africans in distress.
So pardon my ignorance.
So it is not about
if you are 14
in West Africa, the only country so far approached in West Africa by the Americans. And we thought that, look, West Africans already under the ECOWAS protocol can visit any country visa-free, stay for 90 days. So on principle, on humanitarian grounds, Pan-African solidarity, let us accept our fellow West Africans. And let's make the point that Ghana is your home. We are not going to allow you to
accept them to keep them here or accept them to send them back to their countries.
So the choice is theirs, really. For 90 days, if they want to stay here, they can stay. But so far, all of them have indicated that they want to go back after some time, and we've been facilitating that. I can reveal to you that we are expecting another 40.
Another 40?
Another 40 in the next few days.
Of which nationalities?
West Africans. The understanding we have is that it will be West Africans. And don't forget that...
Do you vet them before they... The issue of foreigners in Galamsey, this government has not been truthful to us. When Aisha Wan was deported without being prosecuted, you took issue with that. You wrote and criticized Osafo Maafo for this. This government seems to have the same policy. When Muntaka met the press, he said, when we catch foreigners in Galamsey, we will deport them. He didn't say they will prosecute them. He was very bold and told the media that when a foreigner is caught, we will deport you. That is a complete betrayal of the position you and other leading members of your party took in opposition.
So, once again, as a cabinet minister, I'm not aware that there's been a cabinet decision against prosecutions and that we should just deport. I think that at that point, the Honorable Muntaka was offering probably a personal, analysis of the situation, because as a cabinet minister, I do know that there's been no cabinet position on that matter. And my personal position on this is still consistent, that there should be prosecution. We have to treat everybody equally. You prosecute, they should serve time if they are found guilty, and then after which they can be deported. We shouldn't have an animal farm situation. We shouldn't have a situation where it's as though we are treating foreigners better than we treat our own people, especially when sometimes they are the ones who are the real, culprits who are bringing in all these chamfines. They are the ones who are the real, culprits who are bringing in all these chamfines and these excavators. So we talked about prosecution and deportation.
Yes, but your colleague did. Your colleague said we're just deporting. Interior Minister.
And I've said that it's not the cabinet position.
So did you raise it in the next cabinet meeting that Interior Minister, what you are saying risks being misconstrued as our position, because in opposition we said this is a wrong policy. Did you raise that in cabinet?
I do know that as we speak, the current Attorney General is prosecuting foreign nationals. I don't want to appear to be picking on, even though we know there's a suspect. Prosecutions are going on. And the president has said in cabinet that prosecute, let's make an example of that.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
I don't think
Since
that
we're the Galamsey subject,
I don't think that was a cabinet position.
And